Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Pretty Shelby Destroys the World. So, I'm having an interesting night. It's definitely a smaller night than usual, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if... Wait, shoot. Oh, that is actually a canister. I was wondering about that. Yeah, it's a smaller night than usual, but I think the reality is, people in college, people in high school, people have shit to do. People don't have the ability to do YouTube all the time. Unlike me, I don't know. Every single time that I get like a week with like low views or bad views or like no views, and I'm just like, did I do something wrong? Have I failed? It's kind of the same thing like whenever I get a dislike on any of my videos, which are actually comparatively rare. I don't get a whole lot of those. I actually get kind of, I'm not going to say like super neurotic, but considering how rarely I get them, which is probably as a result of me not being a complete screw up. And if you are a YouTuber and you get dislikes, chances are it's because somebody's just a jerk. Let's see, do we have anything over here? The answer is no. We do have some health if I can get it, but it's too late for that one now. Playing a worm. What? You don't know this? Yeah, don't get any dislikes or... Yeah. Honestly, like, you really don't get a whole lot of dislikes or likes in YouTube. Just, like, as a rule of thumb, it's not a very common thing. It's usually about 10% of your viewers will like or dislike your video. Usually likes versus the dislikes. Alright, so this is going to disappear faster than the other one. But that's not a hard rule. It also depends on like the kind of content you put out. The more like kind of short clip entertaining you're trying to go for, the more likely you are to get likes and dislikes for obvious reasons, just because you're, you know, really actively trying to entertain as opposed to just, you know, being you. Saw blade hurts really badly. Let's see. But so I feel like I feel like I generally do a fairly good job content-wise of at least being, I mean, if I'm not good, I'm at least just boring. I'm just going to go with like crazy jump here. Okay. And this is why. I feel like I should save that money. But not too much. I don't like how dark the levels are nowadays. Like, just on average, everything is just that much darker for whatever reason. Oh, well, let's see what else we got around here. Does not look like too much. Can I dig that out? Eh, who cares? I have to, like, shove my face into things just to see if I can, dig it out. See if there's, like, a canister and stuff. But, no, usually I never dislike a video on YouTube, usually because, I mean, whomever put it out there really tried to put it out there. Usually the only reason why I dislike a video is if a person was, like, specifically dishonest about the video, or is, like, actually, no, there is a case where people, will, like, annoy me to the point where I want to dislike their videos. Because, I mean, I know dislikes hurt no matter who you are, but if somebody comes onto my channel and starts just trying to advertise their stuff, I will actually dislike a number of their videos. But it's not common for you to like piss somebody off with something you've done. Usually it's like a mistake in a game, or something you said, something you did, or just, you know, who you are. There are jerks on the internet. It's just the way things are, really. Note to self. Suss out boxes. Seems like one major element to this game that I haven't been doing. It's actually looking for boxes in the ceiling. Then again, I haven't been killing things as much, but it is definitely helping the money count here. So that might actually be kind of a useful factor. But so, you're always going to piss somebody off just by doing YouTube. Eat tail, bitches. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's check the ceilings, as usual, because it seems like fairly commonly we're getting some stuff here. Hey! Zephyr horn thing. Jin Zephyr. It is the Zephyr horn. Okay, there we go. Let's see. What do we have around here? Not much. Okay. Well, we've got one. Always trying to find the canisters in the ceiling or the walls. And unfortunately, now that they've changed the lighting around, it's actually a little bit harder to find them. Not impossible, just harder. Apparently, my health is doing fairly well here too. Okay. But so, dislikes, whatever. So, as a result of me not getting a whole lot of dislikes or likes, I'm always, like, curious what I did right or wrong. And so, especially if I have a video that only has a dislike on it, I'm like, oh. And, like, I'm not saying that, like, everybody needs to like my content forever. But it is definitely one of those where, like, there's that certain, like, neurosis that you get as a YouTuber where it's just like, what have I done? What did I do wrong? What can I improve on? That kind of thing. Let's see. Okay, question. For music usage, you think streaming music, such as Monster Cat or Pandora Box, as far as Pandora Box goes, do you mean, like the Pandora Music Radio? Or do you mean, like, a separate thing? Because, the other thing is, like, Monster Cat. Monster Cat actually will, let you, as a YouTuber, use their music for your videos, but they take a cut. Now, I don't exactly know how the cut works with them, and that's part of the reason why I don't listen to Monster Cat music along the way. I think they've actually got, like, a better policy than most, like, it's like 5% cut or something like that, very reasonable. But I'd have to check the, like, official Monster Cat company policy. Please die before I can... Nope, looks like we're going down. Oh, before he crushes me to death. Christ, that hurt. Let's get out of there before everything else just blows up in our faces. But so Monster Cat is actually pretty good. There are a couple other ones. Most of the music that I use is actually a result of my network, actually. A lot of networks will actually try and supply no copyright or, like, limited copyright music to their fan bases. For the most part, it's, like, just the same stuff over and over again. But the bigger networks tend to offer a little bit better, if that makes sense. Jesus Christ, look at this. Look at all these eyeballs. And if I can get one to blow up, that'll probably help a lot. Just managing to get one to blow up. The heartbeat. Christ, please, one of you die. Well, there we go. That's the end of that run. Okay. Let's see. Like the streaming video. I mean, the thing is, even, like, liking and viewing my stream announcement videos actually does help me. Likes don't actually help your videos get, like, better search results. That's actually a myth. It's, like, a very common myth that I've heard in a lot of ways. Let's see. But, am I going to be able to get through here? How much? These guys are worth a lot of experience in retrospect. Alright, let's get down before bad things happen, because I want this money. There we go. Let's get back up here. How you guys doing? Because we got another box here. Oh, interesting. So if I'm not holding my melee weapon, it actually works it's fairly easy to drop through those guys. It's just, don't kill them as effectively. Yeah, it could be worse. Where the tits did you guys come from? Ow, ow. Ooh, being underwater is rough. Being underwater is really rough. Okay, a little bit of health, a little bit of damage. Not working out nearly as well as I was hoping it would. Okay, am I getting experience for them getting ground up by the ceiling? Doesn't look like it. Alright, that's kind of a bad thing. Okay. But yeah, so Monster Cat is actually fairly good. I think they've also got a different policy between YouTube and Twitch. Because Monster Cat actually has a very active thing with Twitch. I don't know if, like, Twitch has a, Alright, this is meaningless. There's nothing in the ceiling here. I don't know if Twitch has a specific partnership with Monster Cat. Oh, what the... Hey, we keep getting these guys coming out of nowhere for whatever mysterious reason. Okay, this is bad. Like, underwater levels are really, really painful right now. I'm not appreciative. Like, we can't even get health here. Okay, lucked out on that one. You guys need to leave me alone. I should probably just leave. I don't want to, though. Let's take out those at the very least. Oh, my health is so freaking low. Let's just leave before bad things keep going. Alright, and we get the eyeball. Well, we get these two. Ain't great, but it's better than nothing. Please give me some health. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so I think Monster Cat has some kind of, like, special Twitch permission type thing. I don't actually know what it is, but I'll probably look into it someday. But currently, what I have mostly works. Usually I go looking for no copyright music, as the little tail juggle we had going on there. I usually go looking once I've gotten bored of, like, the current music I've set up. So originally it was like OC Remix Radio, but I can't monetize that in the slightest. In fact, I can't even use it on my monetized channel, for the most part, in any way, shape, or form. So I can only use it for times when I'm streaming and not making money from it. Which is pretty much any time that I'm not going to be using the footage for YouTube. So Saturday, potentially I could use OC Remix Radio. But I'm going to switch that around. hit copyright along the way. Hey, Foxy. I think... Let's see. Interesting. Did not set the... Well, there all that goes. At least the level regenerates here. Which, I actually really like that setup. That setup with this, this run. Okay. Cripes. Hey, that did exactly what we needed it to do. Got us the box. Because that's all I really cared about here. Cool. But I don't really want to talk too much about, like, copyright. Just because copyright is, like, messy and repetitive and, like, nobody really likes it. Let's see. What other things can I talk about YouTube-wise that I haven't talked about too much? I talk about everything. Like, all the time. I talk very cyclically, because it's always the same problems. At least it feels kind of that way. Like, collaborations, people, growth. What are weird things about YouTube that you don't think about that much? Well, like, there's the neurosis of analytics, but I think I talked about that yeah, I talked about that the last time. And kind of with the whole, like, you know, what did I do wrong? So we get... I'll get fire. Kind of useful. And that's a bomb. Straight to my face. Did not actually do damage. That's kind of annoying. Getting flagged on YouTube is kind of annoying. It's actually... getting flagged on YouTube is actually the reason why I originally even joined a network. Because I kept getting copyright issues, actually, for Armello, and, for, well, sort of copyright issues. So, here's the thing. There's a difference between a copyright claim, a copyright strike, and, no monetization. So, that's a lot of money up here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any of it. I could have gotten some of that. Should probably just leave. This place is messy. Okay. But so there's a difference between a strike, a claim, and a... well, so the no monetization thing is effectively just a claim. So what happens is, companies have a couple ways of doing things. Oh, shit, you are big. Why are you here? Okay. Well, we lucked out on that one. Luckily, it's his head's the only thing that actually does damage to you. Still take a little bit from here and there, but it's not so bad. Let's see if we can... Ah, fuck! Alright. Taking that out. Let's get the health before anything else bad happens to us. Okay. But so... Effectively, copyright strikes are when a company actually is taking down your videos. Now, this actually takes intent. So this is usually when you've done something wrong, or you're violently... Well, not violently, but you're flagrantly using copyright wrong. So if, say, you're using a Kesha song as background music for your Binding of Isaac montage, like, it's not gonna work. You're probably gonna get a strike, if not a claim, because you don't have any kind of usage, and they don't want you to use their music for that at all. Whereas copyright claims are... Let's just destroy the level to see what we get here. Doesn't look like we got too much. Copyright claims are when you or when a company is effectively, like, put the music into their system, being like, I own this music. People can use it in their videos, no problem. But I get all the money for it. So, let's see. Grand Theft Auto does this, I think. So if you're doing, like, a Grand Theft Auto video, they just dibs all of your ad revenue. And, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing in the slightest, but it definitely does, you know, it definitely does hamper you in certain ways. And the thing is, if you get a copyright claim in any way, shape, or form, it'll actually make it harder for you to monetize, like, any of your other stuff. Let's see. Oh. Oh, yes. Well, this is going to be fun. Okay. But so... Copyright claims, like, they're really not that big of a deal, but it, effectively what happened was I got a couple of copyright claims, I think, on music from, Cavern Kings, actually, because OC Remix, back before I realized that I couldn't quite use the music for what I wanted to use it for, which, I mean, really wasn't that big of a deal, but still, I really would like to get one more cluster of iron, but I don't think I'm gonna have the money for it. We'll see. I'm fairly dedicated to this cause, but no, doesn't look like we get it. That's a shame. Still, we got like 4. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, nope. It's out of reach for me right now. But so, what ended up happening is I got like a copyright, you know, claim on Cavern Kings, and then it's just like, oh, well, you want to monetize Binding of Isaac? yeah, no, and then you have to prove why you can monetize Binding of Isaac. And unfortunately, Edward McMillan tweets about it, saying like, yeah, you can use, you don't have to worry about like monetization on Binding of Isaac, which YouTube will not accept, and that's the only place he will ever do. That's the only place where Edward McMillan will actually give blanket permissions. He won't do it on. Wait, no, he did it on Tumblr too, but that also counts as social media because Google. Oh, goodbye that. Fuck. Well, that was the item we needed. It's hard to get because goddamn fish. Alright, there we go. So we got 2 treasure chests in 1 level, and I don't have enough money for both. Whatever. Doesn't screw me that much because I can bring the next one with me. Goodbye, treasure chest. Alright, but so I just could not monetize like any video of Binding of Isaac I had put out in like a while. Yeah, answer after I'm done talking. Will do. That's first and foremost. Destroy as much of the level as possible. Okay, good. It's made out of grass. Let's see, here's the problem. We don't have any extra jumps, and we've got a very, very low-range weapon. Okay. And unfortunately, this guy just keeps shitting stuff on you. At least I've got the iframe booster, but that's about it. All that and damage. Okay. Please die, because I cannot survive much longer. There we go. Okay, and we get a boxing glove for our trouble. Happens. Okay. But so I got really sick of like copyright issues, so it's just like, all right, time for me to join a network. No, I don't heal naturally at all, do I? That's rough. God, this is BS boss fight sometimes. But okay, so here's the question. What do I think about video games being in the public domain? Such as, you know, music being in the public domain. Public domain is kind of a messy thing, and I guess I haven't really looked at public domain nearly enough because it's not super relevant. I mean, there's a lot of public domain music that I can use along the way, but the problem is, like, the functionality of it is not, there's not a whole lot of functionality for, like, public domain music, so I don't really think about it too hard. I'm just gonna wreck fishes here, because it also lights up the entire level. Let's see what else is up here. It doesn't look like there's a single thing. Fish swarm is worth a lot of money. To say a lot of money, a lot of experience. Alright, can I get another one of these? Nope, can't. If I had a black hole box, we'd be swimming in it. Okay. But so, public domain, honestly, like, I'm kind of looking forward to things going public domain, but I don't think it's going to work in the way that a lot of people think it's going to work. So a lot of people are thinking, like, you know, after a certain point, Mario is going to go in public domain. Or at least as far as the US is concerned. Oh, shoot. Greed got me there. Damn it. Alright, what do I mean by joining network? I'll get to that in a second. So let's not be... No, not Jackhammer. Let's be Sawblade this time around. Okay. So, for example, a lot of people think, you know, Mario is going to be going public domain after a certain point. And they will be... And, you know, people are going to be able to make, like, Mario games. You know, without having to worry about Nintendo going after them for copyright. It's not going to work that way. So, companies have the ability, effectively, to sit on a copyright for a hell of a lot longer than it looks like they should be able to. I'm specifically thinking of, like, Disney. Disney is very rabid about its copyright. Well, there goes that money. At least it took out the spinning saw blade in the way. Alright, let's just kind of wreck these guys. Fish! Fish, give me experience. Fish experience. All of this fish experience. You know what? I can probably just sit here shooting directly upwards. For the most part. Come on. Give me what I want. Give me all of this EXP. All of this EXP. Cool. But so... Games going public domain... Ah, crap. There's a bunch of eyeballs directly beneath me. Didn't even realize that I am just getting showered in money and experience. Perfect. But yeah, no, Mario will never be public domain, just like Mickey Mouse will probably never be public domain. No matter, like, how much you think that the copyright is going to go away on it. Which is kind of a shame. Honestly, I would love to see what would happen if stuff like that went public domain, but it's just not going to work. Just the companies are too invested in these, you know, in these IPs to let it go without like a massive legal battle, and nobody is pretty much invested enough. Oh, come on, it would be. Well, there goes that money. Damn it. Oh well. But yeah, nobody's invested in that. So unfortunately, kind of as a result, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Is there a way to know what public domain truly is? Non-copyrighted stuff. Well, there's a difference between no copyright and public domain. Because most things that you ever look at that are not... Oh, shit. These guys were still alive. Apparently they can loop around level... Oh. Alright, this works perfectly for me. So I get 2 books of secrets and Jin's Zephyr Horn. Would like to get another book of secrets here if I can somehow manage to accrue the money for it. But the chances of that happening are rough. Books of secrets are amazing, though. But there's no easy way of, like, knowing what is truly public domain. But for the most part, I think there's, like, a website and stuff. You can also look up the copyright half the time. But, keep getting knocked back up into things. See if I can make some money here. Like 600 something though, which is the rough part. How much? Yeah, 605. I think I'm going to be quite shy on this one. 500. If I could get the other one, that'd be okay. Nope, I get neither. That's fine. But you can look it up. But if you're looking at it now, I think most games, actually, I think almost every video game, unless a company has willingly dissolved with no. Well, actually, no. That's not even it. Unless a company actually gives up copyright on whatever it is, chances are somebody owns the copyright. Somebody still owns the copyright for Space Invaders. Somebody still owns the copyright for... what's a good example? Oh! So kind of a weird example of public domain, not public domain. Kingdoms of Amalur is actually sort of not public domain. So it's not actually public domain, but it is actually owned by the state of Rhode Island, weirdly enough. So it's not actually public domain, but that is, I think, one of the only video games to be in that unique position in life. And that's just because they absorbed big, huge games when that studio went under. Yep. Oh, Night Grove. Have a good one. But I don't know, that was always just kind of one of my, like, weird tidbits that I kind of enjoyed thinking about as I was doing that Let's Play series a long time ago. Jesus Christ, the Saw Blade launcher is just so much more powerful than anything else. It's probably equally good in the arena. Hello. A lot of damage. What do we got up here? But, that doesn't mean it's public domain, and it's not, you know, it doesn't fall under that category. It's just strange. But so most games are not public domain in the slightest. In fact, I can't even think of any single one. But there are things that are like no copyright and stuff that have like a completely different set of rules, which is kind of cool. So most of the time when you see no copyright, it's not actually no copyright. The music we're currently listening to is, I'm not going to see, I don't think it's fair use. I'm trying to remember what exactly it's called, but effectively the music that we're currently listening to does not actually have no copyright on it. It's just that the artists put it out for free for people to use without, you know, a whole lot of copyright issues. However, I'd have to look at the contract for this music, but chances are there are a number of things that you can do with it. So for example, this no copyright music cannot be resold, obviously. Whereas if something is public domain, you could potentially resell it, sort of. It has to be slightly transformative, but no matter what I do with this music, I cannot resell it, any way, shape, or form. So, despite the fact that it's no copyright sound, it's not actually no copyright sound. There's like several other things too. Let's see. So even if I'm paying money to play a game, is it legal to let's play it? Okay, so this is the super gray topic that a lot of people bring up when they talk about let's plays. So, currently, it is sort of legal to do a let's play. Or per se, nobody has ever gone to court over it, so there's never been a single judge ruling on it one way or another. So, is it legal to do Let's Plays? I assume so. I think so. I goddamn hope so. And until somebody like sits down and says, you know, this is not covered under fair use, because most people that talk about like the legality of Let's Plays consider it to be like a transformative work in such a way that it is legal to make Let's Plays and effectively monetize them as well. Well, no, actually, no, my bad. It's not legal to monetize YouTube videos without the permission of the developer, pretty much no matter what. Let's see. Use no copyright sounds? Can you monetize the video? I actually don't know that one. And that's something to look into, which is part of the reason why I avoid using it for the most part, because it's kind of like my backup music if I have nothing better to listen to. Oh, hey, that works out. All right, so we're going to get mostly these, because I need a lot of money here. Plus, now we've got 3 extra jumps anyway, so it's working out. Those Tomes of Secrets are helping me. Hey, Homunculus, how's it going? But easiest answer is, if you're not sure if you can use music, copyright-wise, look. They usually have a policy. If they don't have a policy, the answer is no. If they do have a policy and the answer is yes, read the fine print. It's the easiest way to do it. But, let's see. But, no, it is sort of legal to do Let's Plays. And, like, honestly, I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where a company will flat out crack down on YouTube. Holy fuck. Well, there goes the level. Was that like a triple TNT? That was a triple TNT. I've never seen that before. Well, I probably have, just not recently. My ears just popped, and suddenly I'm like very aware of just all of the noises that my talking makes, which is insane. Enjoying the rambling. But so legal YouTube and stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's ever going to get to the point where I don't think anybody's ever going to get to the point where it's going to be a court case over. Oh, hey. Boss fight. Boss fight. I hate this boss. It's just awkward to fight, especially with a gun that doesn't shoot in a straight line. He'd be worse with the, he'd be way worse with the... Here's the question. Can I get that treasure chest? I have no clue. Only if I have enough money for it, I guess. Oh, battery. Yes. Let's get all of these. Is it enough? It is enough, so I can get that treasure chest. I got like 5 jumps, too. I really wish there was like some kind of pip or charge meter to tell you if you could get it or not. Alright. Let's just cross our fingers that we're not... Well... It should be fine. Perfect. Okay, so we're a little bit injured. No big deal from there. This might actually be a run that does well. If I can get a bunch of clumps of iron, then we've got this in the bag. But easiest way to see if you've got, like, effectively copyright or, you know, kind of the rights to a game, there's several lists out there. I don't exactly remember what they're called, but if you go to the R Let's Play subreddit, they actually have a link in the wiki. Maybe on the sidebar, actually. I haven't looked in a while, because I usually don't have to worry about the legality of it. Or more per se, I don't bother until I get a copyright claim. Because nice thing is, almost every game company will never... Well, game companies almost never send you a copyright strike. It happens occasionally, but those are only in, like, extremely rare circumstances. Specifically in... Actually, oddly enough, as long as you don't mess up. I guess that's more the point. If you're, like, not... If you're super risky and you're using Kesha, you're using, like, big music, and you're not sure if you can, then you might get a copyright strike. But actually, most of the major cases that you have to worry about are when you're doing something that might piss off the developer. That doesn't mean the developer's always in the right. So if people haven't heard the story of Day One Gary's Incident, Day One Gary's Incident is one of those really shitty survival games that kind of aped off of, like, the whole DayZ Rust formula of, like, you're a naked person running around in the jungle. Though I think DayZ, not DayZ, Day One Gary's Incident was actually actually had a plot or something, though not much of one. But effectively, Total Biscuit did a review, and I think Jim Sterling as well, but I don't think he got a strike for it. But Total Biscuit effectively ripped a hole in the game, being like, this is just tripe, this is terrible. Oh, there's that. Got enough jumps for this. This is so nice when I have enough jumps. No black hole boxes, though. I'd like to get me one of those. But so the developer did not like what Total Biscuit had to say about his game, and proceeded to give Total Biscuit a copyright strike. Now, YouTube works off of a 3 strikes you're out type policy. So if you get, you know, a bunch of copyright strikes in short succession, it can do really horrible things to your channel, and it's almost impossible to get your channel back from there. This factors into me talking about the network thing earlier. Let's see if I can get this money. Yeah. Oh. I didn't notice the spikes until it was almost too late. Okay, there we go. But yeah, Total Biscuit's review was hilarious, yes. And, like, honestly, if the developer hadn't decided to fight him on it, it probably wouldn't have done the developer much damage, because some people like playing terrible games. But as a result, the developer, like, nobody wanted to buy that game. Because it was just, I mean, it was made by assholes. And nice thing is, YouTube-wise, a lot of people, well, not YouTube-wise, like, gaming-wise, a lot of people kind of refuse to buy from assholes. Especially indie developers. I will admit, AAA gets a bit of a pass, just because, I don't know, people are more invested in their AAA products, so it, you know, the developers of bigger studios can get away with a hell of a lot more. I'm looking at, oh god, that Halo Master Chief Collection. I think it's still virtually unplayable in a lot of ways, which is kind of a darn shame. Alright, let's head over to that shop before we run out of time. Even though I really don't need these. Let's get what we can, because every little bit helps here. Okay, but indie developers really don't have a whole lot of room. It's their reputation on the line before anything else, whereas like bigger companies, it's just usually a bonus or something. But I mean, take a look at, oh shoot, the guy that made Fez, whose name I can never remember. Because it just doesn't matter to me for the most part. Dude is kind of a prick. And, oh, he is actually an interesting case study in and of himself. Phil Fish, there we go. Alright, but so, Phil Fish actually, not exactly in the same way. I don't think he actually started putting claims or strikes around people's videos, but he had this, like, massive rant on Twitter talking about how every YouTuber that ever covered his game owed him money, because it was his stuff. And, I mean, it's his right to believe it, and honestly, it's probably his right to a degree to demand the money, but at the same time, oh shoot, do not kill me. I'm currently shifting in my chair, and I'm not as defensible as a result. But I think Phil Fish's biggest mistake was he was miscategorizing YouTubers as leeches instead of, I don't know, kind of like a symbiotic type thing. And a lot of indie developers are very, very positive about the existence of YouTube. And I think it's, well, not YouTube, but like the concept of Let's Plays of their games. And I think that's only going to get more and more like YouTube friendly along the way. I'm really looking forward to the point where somebody actually makes a, well, I mean, Itch.io already has it, where you can sign up for a press account. You can actually download a bunch of like indie games, you know, carte blanche, without having to request them, as long as you can get yourself a press account. I belong to actually a couple of PR companies like that. Oh shoot, money! Come to me, money! Come on, just crush it so I can grab it. Thank you. Okay. Let's just probably get out of here before we get murdered. It doesn't seem like there's anything major here, and it's taken a long time to dig through. Okay, but it seems like a lot of companies, a lot of indie studios are getting super YouTube friendly, which it makes my job a hell of a lot easier. And I mean, it's going to make everybody's lives a lot easier. But like in Phil Fish's case, I don't think he really ever recognized that like YouTubers were kind of exist as a, I mean, we're effectively a arm of the press that never existed before. You know, kind of the independent, the entertaining, unchained, in a lot of ways. And I mean, I say this as though we're some kind of like champions of truth or something ridiculous like that. Let's actually dig our way out of here first, just in case we run into any issues. But usually when you have like press or marketing and whatnot, it's always self-directed by a company, and there's not a whole lot of focus on entertainment. It's a focus on people trying to buy things. So, yeah, back in my day, Let's Plays were made with camcorders. Still are. There are a couple of people. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, you sexy thing. Oh, let's leave that alone. So here's the thing. We got a treasure chest, but we don't want it. Why? We need that money. What I'm trying to do is actually gather a little bit of cash here. It's better to farm early. Hey, our health's full. Alright. Let's buy a bunch of books of secrets. Yes! Okay, I got 7 of them. This run's actually going to make it somewhere. We might actually get a golden gun at the end of this, assuming the developers have actually fixed it. Let's see if I can buy another. I think I've got the income for it. Yes! Okay. That's probably the extent of it. So now what we want to do... Dump that treasure chest. Perfect! Alright. Die, you bastard. Oh, this is working great. And because I got those gilded vials, I only got like 3. That's still more than enough. And I don't have enough money for that. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Unfortunately, Trix, it will say I'm playing Invisible Ink because this game's not listed on Twitch. And I have my doubts that if it ever will. Which is kind of unfortunate. Shit. Don't want to deal with that. Well, I guess we go over if we can't go under or anything like that. God, these saw blades are super powerful. Okay, what do we have up here? More saw blades. Infinite saw blades. This is not an appreciated thing. Let's see. So what do we got here? But, copyright, fill fish, press. I don't know. Whatever. It's all over the place. And honestly, I guess I might as well get to kind of the main topic that I was asked about, or like one of the side topics that all factors into this. So I mentioned networks. Hey, more books of secrets. I got 8 of them now. This is going to be cool. Okay. He hurts, and I don't have extra health to pay for it. Please die. I do have the extra jumps, though, which helps a lot. Okay, so he's going to be looking for me. At which point... Oh, shit! He shoots out stuff to the sides. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Ooh, ow. Alright, well, we get some money. We're going to need some healing, though, because we don't have any. And the damage is only going to get worse here. Well, let's see. But so... Yeah, all games you grew up with is not listed on Twitch. Yeah, that's actually a pretty sad thing. I think you can, like, manually add it, but I've never actually gotten around to looking. I really should. But so, networks. What are networks as far as YouTube goes? So, I don't know how many YouTubers people watch, but I assume people have at least heard of Curse, seeing as they have their fingers or their hands in a lot of pockets and a lot of different surfaces and stuff like that. Anywhere from like mod management to like news and stuff. All right, so Curse is actually a network as well. They run Union for Gamers, which is actually, as far as I'm concerned, probably the best network out there. With maybe the exception of Polaris. I think Polaris is a little bit better in a lot of ways. But they take more of your money. Let's see. Did they rebalance, money and pickups? Oh yeah, they did. They rebalanced it so you wouldn't be able to, like, just buy out a shop for, like, 10 items in one go. They also made Gilded Vials a little bit rarer and stuff like that. So networks are effectively like TV networks too. So, you know, Fox, WB. Viacom. Pretty much networks are kind of the host, not host, but they're kind of like the parent organization for larger channels. Except for, as far as YouTube is concerned, there's a bit of a difference. So, unlike, you know, say Fox, they own all of the shows on their network. So, you know, primetime television, say Walking Dead, technically the IP is not owned by, is it HBO that does Walking Dead, or is that... No, HBO is Game of Thrones, my bad. I honestly don't pay attention to these things, because, well, it's not high on my priority list. But so HBO does not own Game of Thrones, but they do own, effectively, the rights to put the TV show up. That's kind of how networks work on YouTube, where Curse Curse is effectively managing my channel to some small degree. And so in return for some of my overall ad revenue on a monthly basis, I get benefits. In this case, it's music and safety. In a lot of other cases, there's next to no benefit at all. Back in the days of, like, the beginning of YouTube, Machinima was the biggest, and it still is actually one of the bigger ones. But I think MakerGen has taken over, which I believe is now owned by Disney, of all things. So, let's see, Game Grumps and Markiplier, actually owned by Disney, or at least managed by Disney to some small degree, which is kind of ridiculous in its own way. Let's see, if I ever beat the Crypt on Vagante, oh, a tiny bug. You should have been here, like, a couple hours ago. There's technically no beating the Crypt, but there is definitely beating the Crypt in the most fun way possible. Okay, but so back in the day, being managed by a network is pretty much the sign of success. All of the big channels got pretty much picked up by Machinima for quite a while, or at least a large number of them. CNanners, I don't know if Gassy Mexican Sark. There was a large number of people that worked for Machinima, effectively, actually in office. And even a lot of them actually got their start there before they did anything else. So that's different as well. But so now networks are actually just kind of like, not parents, but they effectively just kind of exist to take my ad revenue. Some are better than others. So I mentioned Curse, and like the reason why I like it the most, Curse only takes 10% of my profits. I mentioned Polaris. So the thing about Polaris is actually not a separate company from several other networks. Polaris is actually owned by MakerGen, which is owned by Disney. But the thing with MakerGen is they own like 7 different like sub networks, and each is like tiered based on like how big you are. So I think there's like RPM, there's Polaris, there's I think an actual just MakerGen one, and some other stuff like that. This is like weird and technical and kind of nonsense for most people that don't do YouTube, but it's like super important for people that do, especially as you grow, because one of actually the worst things that could happen, one of the worst things that kind of happens to like small channels is they get really invested in like, you know, being successful, and like I can totally sympathize with that. Like it is very, very fun to, you know, be a successful YouTuber, and you know it's everybody's dream that pretty much does YouTube, that you know they want to be a successful YouTuber, they want to, you know, make a living out of it, they want to be the next PewDiePie, CNanners, Northern Lion, pretty much whomever. Hey, the door opened itself. I like it when that happens. But so most people think networks are the way to go because that's how it used to be. But now there are a lot of like network scouts that will actually go out, try and find small channels, small impressionable channels, and offer them effectively really crappy deals, on like how, like ad revenue and stuff like that, and as well as some other things. There's actually some like really bad stuff that happened like with Machinima. So Machinima is still a network, it still works, there are still people that work in office and stuff like that. The thing with, oh, thank you. Okay, the thing with Machinima is, they switched it around to a small degree on some people. So some of the bigger, like, more promising channels, they would, like, force them to go through, effectively, renegotiation hell, channel content-wise, or not content-wise, contract-wise. So, shoot, I'm trying to think of specifically the guy, but there's one guy that I know very specifically where effectively Machinima had forced him to renegotiate like 7 different times before they'd even pay him, and he did this for a living. So it's like he spent like a good 6-7 months without getting paid at all for his work, because they were sitting on his stuff, because the network can sort of just dibs your stuff. Alright, I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything else here. But I did get the silver chest, which is what we care about. It's expensive. But they actually just dibs his stuff and said, we own your channel. You have no right to continue using it if you leave our network. And I think he actually ended up quitting. Like, I don't think he came back. I could be wrong, and I can kind of look at it. So, I'm talking about, like, doom and gloom here, but... So, like half of the time when I'm doing these brands, it's kind of like things that I've learned that other younger channels should probably keep in mind. But if you ever get scouted by a network, do your research. Don't just say yes. You know, this is the road to success, and I'm like super stoked about this, because chances are they just want your money. As small as it may be, it requires no effort on their part, and you get almost nothing in return. Let's see. Is my networking with Curse? Is there a requirement? So there's no requirements, actually, for the most part. So my networking with Curse effectively grants me two things. One, if my channel ever gets shut down for like mysterious reasons, I have somebody I can talk to. Unfortunately, they're very limited in what they can do. Because, yeah, I mean, YouTube is very limiting, and Curse does not have, like, that big of an investment in my channel. They only get 10% of my money, which, I mean, is currently about $10 a month. A little bit more. But, yeah, maybe more like 15, I don't know, I haven't seen it in a little while. But, so they don't have that much of an investment, so they don't actually have that many resources available to me. That said, what they do provide me is security. I had a friend, a couple of friends, actually. I don't know if people have heard of Sloshworks before. Sloshworks is a buddy of mine, Australian, and one day he woke up, I think this is effectively over the course of a weekend, he woke up and his channel wasn't there anymore. It just didn't exist. Let's see, aren't they the ones that made the WoW add-on manager? Yep, they did. What the fuck? How many times have I fought this boss tonight? Too many times, apparently. Ow. At least I do crazy town damage, so I don't have to worry about him too much. He's hard to dodge, though. They need like a... Oh, you know what? It's because I don't have any wind leaves. So I just do not move quickly. Ah, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, and we get another Heart of Belial. Perfect. But no, they're the ones that did the... Oh, well, there goes that money. They're the ones that did that add-on manager. Okay, but so effectively, Sloshwork woke up, his channel wasn't there anymore. And honestly, most networks that are actually, like, worth something, and there are a lot of ones that are actually worth stuff. Like, I think Machinima, for my bad mouthing, would actually help with this. But effectively, Curse fought to get my friend's channel back for him. And eventually, YouTube just... Wait, no. No, he wasn't part of a network. He's now part of... I believe now he's part of Curse as a result. Which I guess means nothing. But, he wasn't the only one that this happened to. This actually happened to another friend of mine called... shoot. Oh, hello. Oh, yes. The king has returned. So now, I am unstoppable. I'm also just gonna probably leave. Let's get some experience here. Oh, nope. Never mind. I'm largely unstoppable given the situation, which is perfect, because fish! Unfortunately, if I take any damage, that does kind of stop me pretty hard. Spirit Candle. Oh, well, there goes. Takes a little bit. Luckily, I got, like, what, 5 Hearts of Belial, so my health comes back pretty quickly. Okay, is this... Oh, shoot, this is a locked one. Need to find a key. Need to find the exit. Alright, but, so... Shoot. Viva Visor, there we go. So he actually also ran into an issue where like a bunch of his videos disappeared or something like that. I don't exactly remember like all of these stories just because they kind of blend together, but effectively like YouTube done fucked up or something. And so networks exist, and this is kind of one of the main reasons they originally existed. And back to the whole copyright talk. Networks kind of existed to deal with YouTube on like a legal basis, you know, on a copyright basis. Oh boy, this is gonna get fun. But so for me, Curse is effectively just there twofold. One, this way I don't have to worry about copyright disputes ever. They just don't question it. They just assume that as a result of me being with Curse, all of my copyright things are good. Sometimes it will get like a claim, but it will no longer demand monetization proof on things that did not get a claim. Alright, so now I've got, like, crazy spread shot. Which means we are going to be just shitting saw blades. I believe. Yep. I think it's, what, 3? Yeah, it's only 3 right now. That's not so bad. But effectively, the only reason why I'm with Curse is because I'm afraid of, you know, wake. I'm afraid of waking up and realizing my channel is not there anymore. that's my main reason for having it. It also gives me free music, and actually the other reason why you'd want to sign on with a network. The other reason why you want to sign on with a network is YouTube is notoriously bad at paying people. It's horrendously bad at doing so. So I have a friend, Sebastian SB, who is not partnered with a network because on his other channel, Sad Games, he partnered with multiple networks over the course of, the years as a result of, his co-commentator making dumb decisions. And so he doesn't want to join a network, so he just tries to get paid by YouTube. And they've effectively just sat on his money for like 3-4 months. In fact, I think the first $40 that I made from YouTube just disappeared into the ether, which is kind of a shame. Networks will absolutely make sure that you get your money, or, at least, be a little bit more accountable than YouTube, because you pretty much can't go after YouTube, which is kind of a shame. Let's see. How big do you have to be to be in a network with someone like Curse? Let's see. Doesn't Google own YouTube? Yes. But unfortunately, Google, YouTube, they're very lazy about things. They've got the worst service I've ever seen, like customer support and whatnot. In fact, I think I have to have 100 to 500,000 subs before I can actually contact YouTube support. It's pretty fucking stupid. Maybe 50,000. But so you have to have... It says 1,000 subscribers, but it's not actually the case. Actually, they say each network has its own requirements, but honestly, it's really easy to get into most networks because they require no effort. Polaris is the only one that I can think of, and I think there's like a couple subsections of Machinima that have like higher managed statuses that require like crazy requirements, like 100,000 subscribers or more, something like that. But yeah, from my experience, Google is a very good company at certain things. I've got a lot of friends that work at Google. The thing is, Google is very good at providing a product. It's not very good at supporting said product in a way. So, God, this is a whole other rant that I can't really get into. Somebody remind me the next time I play Cavern Kings. Damn it, CK. It's always gonna mess up in my mind. But no. If you're a young channel, don't bother with it. If you get up to 1,000 subscribers, look into getting a network. But before then, nah, it's not worth it. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next episode of Cavern Kings, and as always, thanks for watching. This is a fun run. Too bad I fired myself into the ceiling.